My name is Kathryn Ottobrino, and I'm currently a bit of a digital nomad. So I live between Perth in Australia and Bali. I am a spiritual business coach, and a lot of people may not know what the term spiritual business coach means. So what it means is I really help. I've got a really big mission on my heart, and my mission is to help serve as many women as possible to share their gifts, their medicine, their magic into the world, but to monetize it and to be energetically and financially rewarded for the amazing gifts that they've got. And I have been coaching women in this space for about 3.5 to 4 years, and recently stepped into more of the spiritual business coaching. And I know that I found my place. My tagline is monetize your magic. The short version is I went on a really deep journey of self-love myself, and I really had to overcome a lot of negative self-talk. I really grew up feeling very different in this world, and I grew up with a lot of psychic gifts and abilities. And I was very loud and outspoken, and, you know, I've got a really big personality, but I was always, I was suppressed quite a lot. And people used to try and put me in a box when I was growing up. So I suppressed a lot of myself, a lot of my personality, a lot of my joy. And therefore it really led to a lot of negative self-talk, lack of self-love, really low self-worth, really low self-esteem. And then that manifested into me stepping into really unhealthy, toxic relationships with men. Then what happened is I had a breakdown, I guess one would say, probably 6 years ago, when I think everything just fell apart for me. And I was running this constant cycle, this constant cycle of like really, the way that I spoke to myself was absolutely like horrific. It was so horrific. So I had a breakdown, and I ended up with severe depression and anxiety. So that led me to then go on a really big discovery, self-discovery on how I got to that point, because I knew that wasn't me, and I knew that I had so much wisdom in my soul to get myself out of that situation. So my personal breakdown then led me into finding my own soul's purpose. So I started off as a self-love coach. So I was a transformational and self-love coach. So once I'd done a lot of deep inner work on myself to uncover my patterns, my limiting belief, my stories, all of that kind of stuff that I'd been carrying, I then kind of fell into the coaching space. Although I started as a healer. So I started as a Reiki healer, and I was doing some Reiki, and I was also in a corporate sales job. So I was really, really, really good at working with people. I was really, really good in my corporate job, but I felt really soulless every day. And I knew that there was something more, but I didn't know what. So I fell into the coaching space. I pretty much, I got fired from my job, my corporate sales job, where I was the one of the top sales performers. And it was the universe's way of really kicking me forward, because I would have just, stayed in that job, earning lots of money, but probably I wasn't happy, let's be honest, right? Intuitively, I got a message to start running workshops for women on self-love, because obviously I had overcome a lot of this myself. So one night I just was in my house. I had no job, and I did an event. I put an event together, and I sold out my first workshop, and I had a full house at that event. I ran 16 workshops across the country in Australia, and started building my tribe and started building my community of women, because I knew that I could combine all of the stuff that I'd learned in my own business and all of the stuff I'd been through and all the failures that I'd been through. Because let's be honest, running a business and being an entrepreneur is a major self-development game. As you know, I grew up with a lot of gifts, and in the healing world, I incorporate spiritual and energetic practices with my coaching, and my philosophy is 80% soul, 20% strategy. And I really, really find that a lot of people get caught up way too much in the strategy of trying to run a successful business, whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur, right? I coach women that are coaches, healers, in affiliate marketing, MLM, they run retreats. And I see a lot of women that come to me and they're so stuck in their head and they're so stuck in the strategy. So I get them out of their head and I pull them back into the soul, into the heart. You know, I want to be that missing link, right? Because I find there's a lot of business coaches out there that are just talking about strategy, and they're not talking enough about the energy of a business and manifesting your clients and, you know, using different energetic rituals that you can use. And I really found that when I was I've worked with a lot of business coaches and done a lot of programs, right? I've lost count. And I always found that there was one or the other. I was coaching with someone that was way too woo-woo spiritual, that wasn't actually giving me any strategy, or someone that had way too much strategy and was giving me spreadsheets, and there was not enough energetic work and inner work going on. So I really want to, and I want to be that person that combines two. So strategy, soul, mindset, you know, the inner work. A lot of my clients will come to me and they're like, Kathryn, you know, they have low self-confidence and they have low self-worth, and they're not pricing their offers, and they're giving away stuff for free because they don't feel worthy of being paid. So I've kind of taken all of that self-love stuff that I was working with my clients before, and all the stuff that I learned and implemented and embodied, and I've combined that with, I guess, the business skills that I learned in a corporate job for many, many, many years. But what I found is, as I was moving into this role of, I guess, you know, more of the business coaching, I started to develop a bit of an imposter syndrome. And I don't know if you know that, because I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm not a business coach, you know, I'm a self-love coach kind of thing. So it took me 8 months of deep inner work you've met me at a point now where I'm really embodied and anchored in what I do. Like, there's a bit of a running joke that goes between me and my tribe members, and that is, she's the no bullshit coach, but she's one of the most heart-centered coaches you'll meet. Business and mindset is it's core to everything, right? If you don't have the right belief systems and you don't have the mindset, it's very, very, very difficult for you to build a successful business. Absolutely. Because it's in those moments, and I did a post on this today, when you are sharing your magic with the world and you get no likes or no comments and no one's watching you, that your mindset is the only thing that's going to keep you going. Your mindset and your self-belief, and getting over those bullshit stories that you're not good enough and no one wants to hear from you and you've got nothing to say in this world, you know? So absolutely mindset. But I think the main, you know, core message that comes back for me is, don't be afraid to be who you are. And I've always been told I'm too loud, I'm too this, get back in your box, you know. And I finally own the powerhouse goddess that I am, but it's taken me a long time to own that, you know, and not be scared to go, I am a powerful powerhouse leader, and you either love me or you don't, but I'm okay with that. I'm good, you know?